right, my love? All right, go live. All right. Okay. Welcome to the Heal on Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Carolyn Ozuna, and I am stoked about this guest today. The stars aligned, and I didn't even do this on purpose, so I feel like I need some kudos. But it is Lionsgate, my friends, and I have a teacher that teaches universal laws at a first grade level, which I absolutely love. And I'm so excited to hear Jen explain more about these incredible universal laws and how we can apply them to your life. Most of you guys know my story, how I've literally used these universal laws in my own life in the past 11 years with manifestation, creation, emotions, and how to experience that. So I can't wait for her to explain this to you, because I know sometimes it can seem like our manifestations stay stuck or something's missing. And today we're going to give you that missing piece. So please help me welcome the one, the only, the amazing Jennifer. Welcome in. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing so well. How are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm doing so good. Excited to have you on. So it's Lionsgate. So most people, I'm into astrology, but I don't know astrology like you know astrology. Can you tell us what Lionsgate is and why today is particularly so special?
Yes. So 8 is a number of abundance, and we have the month of 8, August, and the day of 8. And right now, Earth is in alignment with Chiron and the star of Sirius, which is an extreme amount of abundance for us. So just the vibration of 8 of abundance is being magnified right now. So whatever you do today, whether you do a spell or whatever you do your normal routine, you have to make sure that you're within the frequency that you want to amplify for the next couple of years. This type of energy is like setting intentions, because if you are not having a good day today, then you're not going to have a good future. That's what people think, but
that's the superstition, right?
yeah. But I don't believe in all that. I mean, everything is frequency, and you can change your frequency at any point in time.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I love that. I love it so much. You can change your frequency at any given point in time, because there are some people that are superstitious, but basically the Lionsgate, what it does do is amplify. Is that what I'm hearing? So it amplifies the energy of abundance. So we should sit and meditate and kind of see the future that we want today.
Yeah, it's all about, like, think about a lion. A lion is a manifestation of Leo energy. That's literally what it is. And it's all about like presenting who you truly are authentically. And lions, they love to be the star, they love to be the leader. And so when you're able to like kind of tap into that side of you, like, you deserve to do that. You deserve to show the world who you are. And we're all kind of shifting as a collective towards that, especially with social media.
I love that so much. Yeah, that makes sense that we are all shifting in like almost like a spotlight, a shine type way, where everybody's giving their gifts in a way, and not just giving their gifts and finding unbelievable joy in giving them. Because when you teach, you look like you're experiencing a tremendous amount of joy. Is that accurate? Yes. I too experience joy when I do that. And so I feel like that just aligns so much, that frequency of joy and that frequency of like authenticity. This is who I am. Love me or hate me, I'm still going to shine. And then all of a sudden it's like the universe applauds. Like, that's what we wanted all along. And while you might lose people, it's like they're aligning the right people to come into your life. So tell us, for people listening who are really like wanting to amplify their manifestations and really go to the next level, what is something basic that they can start doing? Whether it's monitoring thoughts or like writing down what they want, what is the thing that you give to people that is like, you got to start here? I know, loaded question, longer question for sure.
Well, I am not a believer in actions. I'm a believer in how you're feeling. So you can do all of the 369 method, you can do all of the spells, you can do all of those things, but if you don't feel deep in your heart or think positive vibrations, it's not going to work. So when it comes to like, what should I do? What should I do? It's like the universe does not care what you do. The universe only hears vibrations. That's all it is. We are a vibrational world. So the universe doesn't know what time it is. Time is an illusion. The universe doesn't know what you look like. It only feels your vibration 24/7. That's what manifestation is. And so what you're talking about is like, there are certain techniques that you can do in order to like make it stronger, in order for you to be more in touch with yourself. But when people ask me this question, I'm like, I always encourage people, chase after the things that scare you the most, because a lot of us, we don't want to become our authentic selves. Like, it's always hidden within our shadows. It's always hidden within our greatest fears. Because like, I'm a huge believer in Earth programs us to be somebody that we're not. So when people ask me this question, I'm like, just go do something that scares you. Go do something that makes your heart race, because your soul knows we need to go be doing that.
Oh, I love that so much. Go do something that your heart races on. Say
Mhm.
yes in the comments if you're with that, because I know for me, one of the things that I do is, and I've done for 11 years now, is that I remember I went on Facebook Live, first started. It was 11 years ago, and I'll never forget. Or I think it was in 2015, and I was one of the first people that got a chance to use it. And I was terrified to use it, but they were like, "Hey, we're beta testing. Do you want to be one of the people?" Because I'd been uploading videos for a year already. And I got on, and my first video, I think, went viral with 160,000 views. And I was like, whoa. I was like, but I remember feeling like, this is incredible. Like, I love this feeling, but my heart was racing in my chest. Like, and I remember a lot of comments came in that weren't so kind. And I remember feeling like, okay, well, I can either keep doing what I love and be okay with the haters or the people like kind of saying that stuff, or I can quit, you know? And so, and I remember just continuing forward with that. So is when you're doing something that makes your heart race, because it doesn't have to be posting, or it could be telling someone you love them. It could be literally anything that gets your heart racing. It could, you know, go for a run. I don't know, like anything that really makes you feel alive, you're saying. And so when you started that, what did you see start happening in your life?
Yeah, exactly what you're saying. You see virality, you see quantum leaps, you see big, big changes because you finally changed, because you finally got out of your comfort zone. Most human beings, we love to be in our comfort zone, our homeostasis. We're programmed to constantly be somebody that we're not, to constantly try to fit in. Instead of the moment that you chase after, you know what, I'm going to go do whatever I want to go do, you're letting go of the people pleasing. You're doing your own thing, and everyone else is going to be like, what are you doing? And so the moment that you do that, you're shifting your frequency. Therefore, the universe does not care. The universe hears that you shifted a frequency. Therefore, it gives you a brand new reality. That's exactly what it is. So the reason why we're so afraid of it, there's the reason why you were so afraid of getting online, is because you like the fear of being seen, or just like, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough. All these limiting beliefs that are programmed into us for a reason.
And I do believe that to be true, that these beliefs get programmed from when we're children, and sometimes even passed down in our DNA from our parents, right? And so these, like, if you could go through a list of like the top 3 universal laws, because there's many. How many universal laws are there?
I think essentially 12. I mean, it depends on which religion you're talking about.
Yeah. What are like the top 3 that you would say that you could give in this moment that we could apply to?
Oh man, I mean, oh, this is deep, but I mean, everybody knows the law of attraction. The law of attraction really governs a lot of the laws, but I'm a huge believer in the law of correspondence. As above, so below. Everything outside of you is always mirroring what's going on within you, and that's the biggest thing that people don't understand. The people that, when you talked about like 5 minutes ago, people like not seeing their manifestations, or they feel like the universe is against them. It's the law of correspondence. Your manifestations aren't stuck. You are stuck. It's mirroring your stuckness. So you figure out how to get unstuck. It's you. That's all.
I love that so much. Who's like really loving this? I know I am. And our ability to be able to, so that's the law of correspondence, because I talk about that often, like that law of reflection. It's like everything that's going on within you is going on outside of you. And if there is no enemy within, there can be no enemy outside of you. And so most people don't understand. They want to say, oh, well, this person is to blame, or this person's to blame, instead of going, well, if I'm attracting toxic partners, where's the toxicity within me that is creating this? Yeah, exactly. But that's like a very big, I would say don't you think that's a really big thing to ask of someone? Because most of our culture, like, say yes in the comments if you guys are with me with this, like most of our culture isn't waking up every day like, gee, I wonder how I can take radical responsibility for my life. It's more of just like, oh, okay. My mom did this, or my husband did this, or my dad did this. And I think wouldn't you say that there's a level of um, validating that version of us that feels hurt while still seeing, okay, what's beneath this? What's behind this, right? Like what's underneath here? Where's the juice, right?
Mm-hmm. That's the human experience. We have emotions. We have a body that doesn't want to change. We have these, we're human beings. And so when it comes to the laws, like when it comes to any of the sciences, the science doesn't care whether you're having a good day or a bad day. It doesn't care about your emotions. Like the science behind it, the laws are always going to work, whether you're a good person or a bad person. And so that's the human experience, is overcoming, not overcoming, but I'm trying to say it in a different way, but there's some emotions that can, like our ego is one of like, like that's so easy. It's so easy for you to hold a fist for people. It's so easy for you to be like, but it's so much harder for you to, this is how you raise your consciousness, is when you have empathy for other people. And when you truly see that everything is a mirror of you. And I truly think it's a practice. And the more that you, like you said, the less that you push people away or the less that you blame people, you raise your consciousness. And I'm a Christian. I truly believe that that's what Jesus did. Jesus did not do that to other people. He just completely was a high level being, and he loved everybody.
Oh, I love that so much. I love it so much. And have you watched The Chosen yet? I mean, this is totally off topic, but have you seen The Chosen yet?
No.
If you're Christian, I think everybody should watch The Chosen. I do watch The Chosen quite often, and it's a story about Jesus. And it's on Amazon Prime, but I'm just sharing it because every episode, my heart is like cracked wide open and I'm crying. And Jesus doesn't go around preaching. And I don't want this to become around religion, but he doesn't go around preaching, you have to believe what I believe in order to be loved or to be saved or to do, like, there wasn't this like kind of strict around belief. It's just like compassion. It was like Christ level compassion is what's healing these people, and that presence. And so I love that so much too. And I feel like the more we don't point our fingers outward and our outer reality, and this is what's wrong, they did this, and the more we say, okay, what could this be teaching me? Where is the order underneath the chaos here? There has to be something written here for me, because I don't believe that anything happens by mistake. And I know it's hard for people to hear that, right? Do you believe that? I'm curious.
Do I believe
that there are no mistakes?
Oh man. I don't believe in mistakes. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in luck. Everything is a mirror of you. Like I said, everything kind of points back to the law of attraction. So people are sitting there like, what's the science behind everything is a mirror of me? What's going on here? The law of attraction states that everything in your life is it's like vibrations, like attracts like, right? So like attracts like. So if you have someone in your life who's a negative vibration, quote unquote, English is called, it's a mirror of us because it's a like vibration. So you've attracted in the car accident, you've attracted in the person, you've attracted it in, and it's mirroring because you've attracted it into your life. So that's it. Again, it points back to the law of attraction. Everything, all of the laws, you can always say it's because of the law of attraction. That's why it works the way that it does.
I love that.
Yeah.
I like that so much, but I don't, what I'm thinking about it, because I'm like, I know that those listening, because I know when I first heard about the law of attraction, when I first heard about the mirror technique, I'm going to be totally honest. I was like, bullshit. I was like, I was so mad. I was like, no, this is my ex. I remember my ex-husband. I was like, nope, it's his fault. He's like this is the reason we're getting a divorce. And I couldn't really face what was taking place within me. And I remember I felt like a failure as a mom, a failure as a wife. And like within a week, this is 11 years ago, I like lost my job. My husband left. It was like all these things took place in a week's time for me. And I had no idea why it was happening. And I remember I just had this all out moment with God, universe, source, whatever you guys want to say based on your beliefs. And I just drew a line in the sand, and I was like, I'm yours, use me. Like, I don't want anyone to feel this pain I'm feeling ever again. So it was that pain that I felt, though, that really pushed me. And that night I created the community and I went live. And it was like, people don't, and I think to myself, like, okay, well, there was divine order taking place in the chaos that I judged as so bad or wrong. So there really isn't that good or bad, right or wrong. We can't look at it objectively like that if we can't see the whole map. And I think that's what you're saying, correct?
Yeah. There's so much that I could add on to that.
Please add.
Well, immediately I've had that experience too. Like everybody can probably think of that one moment where you were broken, and sometimes, like you said, it's BS. Like sometimes you need to be at that low to be like, I can't keep, like, the universal laws were digging at you over and over and over and over. It's kind of like the law of gravity. You're constantly falling to the ground, but you're not. But your ego's like, this is bullshit. Oh, why am I falling to the ground? It's the law of gravity. So when you finally surrender to this and you're like, I'm going to learn the universal laws to actually use them for me instead of against me, that's usually have that breaking point, like that heartbreak. And I see it as like, when you experience a negative 5,000 trauma that you've never experienced before, it motivates you to then experience a positive 5,000 abundance. But if you have not gone down to the roots of hell, then you can't go up to the roots of, or the trees of heaven or whatever.
Oh, say for me in the chat if you're feeling this. I know. I got a name then.
It's not me. It's a Rumi quote. I usually have, for my students, I usually have a rubber band. I call it rubber band effect. So what we do is, whenever you have a very, very bad trauma, I'll pull down that negative band and I'll say, what do you want to charge this? A catapult has like a rock in it. Yeah. So you bring that down and you're like, what do you want to charge this rock with? Anger? And they're like, no. I'm like, no, we got to charge it with gratitude. And so what we do is, and then it goes, and then it skyrockets. So if you noticed, after that very, very deep trauma, you experienced a very, very high abundance, but no pain, no gain. If you only have a little bit of trauma, then you have a little bit of gain. See what I'm saying? It works with the physical laws too. It's crazy. Like the universal laws are just like the physical laws that you learned in physics and science.
I love that so much. And this is how we become these magnet for miracles. Put magnet for miracle in the comments if you're ready to become one, because this, I think, as we're my teacher would always tell me to participate in your life, and not just to be like a viewer of life, but really to participate in it. And it was so interesting. Right after that, not only did my business explode, but a year later, I met my husband, who proposed to me a week after I met him. I literally said him on the night that I met him, I was like, I've been looking for you for 33 years. Do you want to come up to my hotel room for some pizza? Because I met him at an event, and he said yes. And then a week later he proposed, and we've been together ever since. We've been changing lives together. And so, I think I love that law that you're describing, that like that kind of, it's almost like a slingshot, like, and as we go down, but to get to gratitude for the most painful moments in our life. Talk to me about that. How do we do that? Is there a law in there somewhere for it?
Is there a law? I
don't know about you guys, but I'm getting hot. Shirt's coming off.
So gratitude is, if you've ever seen the Scale of Consciousness by Dr. Hawkins, it's like a triangle of all the vibrations. So the high vibrations of love, of authenticity, of gratitude, and then the low vibrations of fear, guilt, shame, and grief. It's so much easier for us to be way down here. But it's harder for us to have empathy, like we talked about with Jesus. It's harder for us to have loyalty, for us to have that love and that authenticity and gratitude, like you're saying. It is a very high vibration. So when the universe, remember, the universe doesn't care what you do, who you are. It only hears your vibration. So when you're like, I'm so grateful that I experienced this pain, because now I'm going to experience a gain. I'm so grateful that I experienced. You're not grateful that you were abused. You're not grateful that you were hurt. You're grateful for the byproduct of it. You're grateful that it gave you the wisdom that you can now give to other people. You're grateful that you can heal yourself so other people can heal too. Like it's the byproduct of it. We can't change our past, but we change the way that we look at it.
Yeah. I love that so much, what she just said. You can't change the past, but you can change the way you look at it. And that's going to change everything, because then instead of your nervous system kind of like bracing, like for the pain or what's going to come next, your nervous system kind of relaxes. And it's like, wait a second, the world isn't out to get me. this was all me. And it's interesting because, you know, in that, I was actually in I was watching my 7-year-old sleep 11 years ago in my sister's basement when I had that moment of just like, something's got to change, you know, that like that moment of change. And most people in their life, what I have found is they wait until the pain gets great enough to change.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I say is I'll say, always turn up don't wait till God turns up the heat on you in your life. Heal on purpose. That's what this is all about, is to start healing and transforming your consciousness as a matter of will, and not waiting for an outside source to come and trigger it. Bring it all up to the surface, because we store past pains in our body, especially when we don't process them. Our brain's protecting it. So what would you say for a law for someone who's holding on to that pain or that hurt? What is a law that maybe you could describe to them? And I love what you say, in a first grade level, that could help them start to heal on purpose. I mean, you've already shared so much, but.
All the laws can really help with this one, but what I would say in terms of what concept I would apply is, the greatest of teachers can meet someone where they're at. When people don't want to change until they, hit rock bottom or they hit their last straw, like, you have to understand why that is, meet them where they're at, instead of be like, you meet them here. And this is the way that I look at it. You don't have to experience that low, but when you remind yourself that everybody says we only have one life. No, your life is eternal. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Isaac Newton. Your energy lasts forever, whether you believe in reincarnation, whether you believe in going to heaven, whatever you believe in, your energy goes somewhere. So at the end of your life, if you wait to hit rock bottom until you're 50, 60 years old, if you wait for that, you bring that negative energy to your next lifetime. So I truly see this as your moral obligation. You have to try and heal the most that you can, because the only thing you can bring after death is your knowledge. That's it. The next, whoever you're going to be in your next lifetime, then has to deal. The reason why your life sucks today is because your previous lifetime was like, I'm not going to heal this. And they passed it down to you, whether that's your parents, whether that's your previous spirit guides, whoever it was. So that's really what, anytime somebody's like resisting to heal, I always remind them of, it's your moral obligation, because it's not just one life. It's, you're going to bring this energy. That's what you're meant to do. I truly believe that's the purpose of life, is to heal on purpose.
Oh my God. Can you guys share this out for me? Because we need more people to see this. I got several family members that I want to watch this. No, I'm kidding. I'm applying it to myself, but I'm laughing because of how many times I've posted something wanting someone else to see it when I also needed to see it myself. And so I love what you're saying, though, that our it's like Earth School, right? Gary Zukav talks about this, and he's like, look, he's like, you are literally in the hardest school in the solar system, and it's Earth School. And, you're here to cultivate experiences, wisdom, and lessons. That's all you're going to, and he thinks that there's this big pot, like, for humanity. And every time we experience wisdom and a lesson, it goes into this consciousness, into this pot. Like, we're cultivating this all together. Like, we're all connected universally. And so I definitely feel that I've experienced states of consciousness that I'll go into where I'm just like, this life doesn't even feel real to me. It just feels like almost like a dream, And so can you go through a few of the laws with us? Just because I'm so interested in them. You said the law of attraction. You said the law of reflection, which I loved. Can you give us a few more? Because this is just incredible what you're saying and how to heal on purpose, because they can apply them when they get off of here.
Let's say, in terms of what we're talking about, our conversation right now would lead towards law of cause and effect. Every single thing that you give outwards comes back to you, like the ring, karma. And what you were talking about, I love what we're talking about, the collective consciousness. We are all the same energy, just with different personal realities, personalities. So we're all the same consciousness. And the more that you heal, the more the other people heal that feeling. And what we were talking about earlier, when people are like pointing fingers, you are not raising the consciousness by doing that. You are lowering it. And with Earth School, I always see it as like, it's not, people say that life is unfair. People are like, why do I have to be here? This Earth sucks. But really what's going on is, like, they want us not to realize how powerful we are. They want us to feel small. They don't want us to see that our brains are powerful. We can create whatever we want. So let's go back to the law of cause and effect. Every single energy that you give outwards, you get right back to you. And that's the thing, when you point fingers, guess what's going to come back to you? then scientifically your thoughts are electric, which is outwards, and then your heart is magnetic. So that's how it works. So you have to make sure, like Jesus also, you said, that if Jesus were to operate from fear of like, you need to follow me, he didn't want followers. That would be operating from lack, and then he would get lack right back. So he always operated from love, 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 and got love right back to raise the consciousness. Yeshua.
I love that so much. I feel like Jesus was the first content creator, and let me tell you something. He was able to create a following and do what he did. Like, it was like he was so on purpose, if that makes sense. Like, he created like people who just couldn't stop talking about it, that vibration, that energy, that frequency that you're talking about, that godlike frequency. And I feel like the more we tune in and connect with that, the more compassion and empathy we'll have, not just for ourselves, but for others. You know, like if we're feeling misunderstood in our life, just that, okay, where do I misunderstand others? It's like that is Christ level consciousness. I think being able to do that law of reflection and do that cause and effect and see in our life, okay, where in my life am I taking action that is causing this effect? And you talk about, you know, I love talking about your results you created, you know, close to 6-figure months. Yes. Wonderful. And so have I. And the reason I share that is because that's a vibration. That's the abundance. That's the Lionsgate type abundance. If you'd like some tips on how she did this, yes. Will you tell me, Jen, how have you created that abundance, and how does that abundance, because I see a lot of spiritual people at times broke and they almost like cling to that cultural, I want nothing, I'll have nothing, I'll just give out. And then they don't understand why they get cancer or why this happens or why they're falling apart, you know? And so can you speak to a little bit about that?
Yeah, everything that you're talking about is screaming the law of detachment. Why Jesus was such a good content creator is because he was detached. The moment that I grew followers is when I didn't want followers. The moment that I grow the money is when I don't want the money. And it's not like the law of detachment can be really misconstrued of like, oh, I don't care about it, or I don't want it. That's not what it is. What truly the law of detachment is, and this is the way that I view it, is you realize that you already have everything. And all of the followers and all the money is not actually going to make you happy. And that's the highest level of consciousness, is I already have everything. I am the divine. I am. And so that's why Jesus was so magnetic, because he wasn't attached to it. And so that's exactly what I use. Like in December, this is my glow up story. In December, I made $0 in my business. I was latched on. I was like, why is nobody buying? Why is nobody buying? And I was also in the wrong niche. I was in the astrology niche. I was pretending to be the zodiac signs. And that's not to say it wasn't right for me, but it wasn't making me any money. It wasn't paying my bills. And so what I did was in January, I shifted and I said, I need to stop caring so much about like how much money can I make, but how many people can I help? And the moment that I let go of that, the moment I'm like, how many people can I save? Can I help? I have a power within me, $30,000 a month, like 0 to 30,000. And you can do this. The beautiful thing with social media, I can't believe this is legal, is we can reach millions of people for free. And that's what I love. That's exactly what I've done, is I've mastered the law of detachment.
Oh, I love that so much. We had a question here. So surrendering to the attachment to the fruits of your actions. Someone commented.
Yeah, when you follow the process, when you not look at the destination, when you follow on who I need to become. I mean, the reason why you want those fruits, the reason why you want that so much is how it's going to make you feel. How's it going to make you feel? You want that car because you want to impress other people. You don't want the car. You want to impress other people. You want that partner because you want them to make you feel good. You want them to give you compliments because you can't give it to yourself. So when you detach, when you realize I can give myself everything, I can impress myself, I can love myself. It's easier said than done. People can try to do it, but it's really this state of letting go and being in a state of gratitude and authenticity. And God absolutely loves. God there's a high vibration, loves when you're up there with him. I remember my mentor, when I first hit my first $30,000 months, I'm like, I feel so in my alignment. She said, welcome to heaven. Heaven can be found on earth, and so can hell. We've all been in hell before. So if hell, when I was a little girl, I was like, if the devil exists, then so does God. Like, and we've all experienced that before.
I love that so much. I had someone tell me before, because this was years ago, I said, I'm so angry at God for what happened in my life and certain things. And they said, Carolyn, that's wonderful. And I was like, how is that wonderful to be angry at God? And they said to me, to be angry at God is the highest form of faith, because you can't be angry at something you don't believe exists. And man, I don't know why that like got right to my heart. And I was like, I'm sorry, God. I was like, and I don't know why it just struck me, but your story is so powerful in that, where it's just, you just shine and you do what you love. And the same thing happened with me 11 years ago. One of my first courses was a workout course. And I was like, come on, guys, let's do it. And I was really excited about it, and no one really bought it. And I had some that did, but it wasn't crazy amount. And then I did another course on how to grow a Facebook group and make money. And this was back in 2014. Too soon. I was just too soon. And I put it out there. No one bought that. And then I remember over the year, I put out 18 courses. And the first 14, everyone said no, but I kept that consistency because I remembered, I'm like, you know what? Success builds on success, and so does failure. Failure is just teaching me. And I'll never forget, I did this event and I lost 30K on it. I hired this really expensive speaker. I won't say his name. Hired a really expensive speaker, and he didn't fill the seats. And I was like, it was like 30 grand I lost on this big event. Did it at Franklin Institute in Philadelphia. Long story short, I went to my dad and I said, I quit. I'm going to quit. I've done all this. People are saying, no, I lost 30 grand. I was like, I'm just going to quit. He's like, stop. He's like, you're not going to quit. He's like, write down everything that you learned on a sheet of paper. And I was like, oh, I was like, well, I did an event in person. I was like, that costs a lot of money, but online is free. It's like you said, I could do an online webinar. And I said, and I can promote to people I already have. And then I started to write all these things down. And I was like, and I don't need to pay a speaker. I'll be the speaker. And so I'm writing all these things down. And the next week I went live with the webinar, and within an hour I made 30 grand, and like literally 29 grand. It was that exact amount. And I remember my kid was sitting on the couch and I was like, get your shoes on. I was like, we're going to get chicken parm tonight. And I was so excited that happened. But that ability to detach from it, but also be able to receive that inspiration to take action, especially in the moments when you get and give up, because you probably had a similar moment in January, right? When things weren't working, that you might wanted to give up at moments.
Yeah, I've been through this similar vibration. I mean, like you said, I think you said 2014 or something. I mean, back when I was young, I had a YouTube channel. Back when I was young, like we can all probably imagine way back when we believed in ourselves, when we were younger, and we're like, I can do it.
Yeah.
And, that's our natural state of being. We know we can have anything. We know that we can make anything possible, but when it doesn't show up, then we give up. So that leeway between you try, you fail. This is where it really tests you as to whether you're going to keep going. Like there have been moments where every single person around me, my lover, my partner at the time, my mother, everybody around me was like, bruh, you're not going to make money online. And I was like, you know what? No, I am. For a year and a half until I finally got these six-figure months. And it really is the law of detachment. I was so attached to it. And when you're so attached, you're in a low frequency, and everyone around you is also in a low vibration of you can't do it. They're mirroring that you don't believe that you can do it. So it's really overcoming your beliefs. It's overcoming all those people are really just mirroring you. And I forgive all those people. I say thank you to all those people. Oh, and they all are very magnetized to me now.
That's incredible. And I guarantee you they don't say you can't make money online anymore. You're probably taking them to dinner now, right? That's a beautiful thing. And I love what you're sharing. So to take away from this, it's Lionsgate and people watching this, I really love my intention is to, have avalanches of abundance come towards everyone that listens to this. And they feel not just the abundance on the outside, but their generational wealth that was gifted to us through God, source, universe, Jesus, whatever you believe in, that generational wealth that just flows through our blood. So what is something that we can do and remember right now at being Lionsgate in such a high vibration that we can do in this moment? Even if people are watching the recording later, it'll still amplify. What is something that they can do to support their manifestations, their creation, and their connection to God? Long question, sorry.
I would say, and you might not like my answer, but I would say treat every day like it's a Lionsgate portal. Don't just treat today as, oh, I got to make sure. Actually, that's coming from lack. Treat every single day as you are a lion, you are a lioness, you have an abundance. Treat every single day because the universe is constantly trying to give you energy. It's constantly within alignment. It's constantly, and there are going to be hard days. There are going to be days where you feel like giving up, that you're going to relapse, that you're going to go into lower frequencies. But you remind yourself of the abundance that's constantly trying to find you. Like that's really what the law of attraction is. The law of attraction states, well, this is what Bashar says, is energy is constantly trying to find us, but we push it away. Every single day, treat it like you said, don't just treat today as a special day, you got to get it right. Like treat every single day as it is a Lionsgate portal, because it is all about you. You are the main character. It's a little.
Oh, say yes if you're loving this, and say yes if you want to let that abundance into your life. God, I love that so much. What you're talking about is you're talking about reverence for every breath. And I love that so much because if we treat every breath like a gift, I mean, you're literally in that vibration. You're going to attract everything you want and need because people are going to feel that. People can feel a regulated nervous system. They can feel like this is like a safe place to kind of set here, and heal and connect and create. This is so beautiful. And so treat every day like a lion's gate. And then what's one more law that we can apply? You've already given us so many. You gave us the law of attraction, the law of reflection, the law of cause and effect. What's one more? And the law of detachment. What's one more? Everyone's saying yes, yes in the comments. They're feeling it.
Like, what's another law? Like, I mean, those are really the biggest ones. Love, polarity, love, correspondence. I mean, I don't really talk about the laws too much. I mean, they're constantly ruling over us. What were you saying right before this?
So it's I was saying basically reverence for life and reverence for every breath.
Yes. Okay. There's a future version of you. This is from Joe Dispenza. He teaches the quantum realm, quantum theory. There's a future version of you that has everything that you want. They have their person right next to them. They're grateful. They have the money in their bank account. They're grateful. So you're tapping into that frequency. You're tapping into that version of you whenever you're grateful. When you realize that you already have everything, that every day is the Lionsgate portal. You are tapping into that frequency. You're tapping into that person. So that's exactly what's really happening. Because when people say, oh, I just have to be happy and grateful all the time, well, you have to tap into that frequency if you already have everything. And then it will literally come to you.
I love the voices you use. I also love voices. Definitely a match here. And someone just said in the chat, it's great to feel the love that's just emanating off of both of us. So it's interesting just to see the dynamic, the Lionsgate, and what you just shared is so powerful to act as if it's already done. My first mentor, Joseph McClendon, who is Tony Robbins' partner, he said something to me, and it changed my life forever, because I literally, years and years ago, I'm in my sister's basement and he's like, all right, write down you're a millionaire, say it out loud. I'm walking around I just borrowed money from my sister for groceries 11 years ago, and I'm walking around like, I am a multi-millionaire. I people. And I'm like, but the other part of me is like, bullshit. and so I said to him, I was like, Joseph, I feel like a liar when I pretend that I'm this multimillionaire. He's like, I'm going to tell you something that's going to change your life. And I was like, please do. And he said, you're not a liar. It's a future version of you that you're tuning into and getting information from. And that I could get behind, just like you're saying. If there's a future version maybe that already has it, then I'm not lying. I'm just tuning into that frequency that already has it, and getting the persistence, the influence, the persuasion, the impact, everything that I need to support me in becoming this version that it already has it. And then the one other thing that I love, and I'd love for you to speak to this, and then we'll end. I could talk to you for hours, but yes. I know. I'm sorry, we went over. We were only supposed to do about 45 minutes. I'm sorry. You're so wonderful. Walking around, they said if someone wrote you a check for $11 million and they handed it to you, but you couldn't get the money for a week, you're going to walk around like a multimillionaire, right? Like you're going to know that money is in the bank. It's already there. And they said, that's how you have to do like law of attraction with money. Would you say that's accurate? Is there anything that you can add to that?
That's 1000%. The universe only hears what you emit. So when you are delulu, when you are visualizing, when you say, I already have it, the universe is like, okay, it's very obedient. It's like you have that frequency. Yes, your body is a manifestation of the past. I always use this as a beautiful metaphor, is like whenever you're trying to lose weight, you have your current overweight body. This is everything you've eaten in the past. Obviously, everything that you ate in the past is your body. And so you want a dream body. You want that future version of you. You have to act as that person. You have to eat like that person. You have to exercise like that person. And everyone gets mad because they're like, I still have this body. But you have to wait. You have to get there. You have to become that version of you. So it's exactly, I forget, Neville Goddard, the visualization, this guru, he loves it. That's exactly what it is, because the universe only hears your vibration. So when you say, I already have $1 million, it's actually given to you immediately. Asking it is given to you immediately. But what blocks it is everything that you've accumulated in the past is your body. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Drift? Yes.
Jen, thank you so much for coming on. I'll make sure people know how to find you. You're incredible. I'm so grateful that you came on and shared your story and your success and your energy and your vibration is wonderful. Grateful that it's Lionsgate, but hey, we're going to treat every day like it's Lionsgate from what you're teaching. So thank you again. Is there anything else you wanted to share with everyone before we head out?
That is all. Peace and blessings. And thank you so much for having me here.
Oh, thank you so much, Jen. All right.